Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's the 22nd, the 23rd, 24th, 25th of April 2024. So I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons for April, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Monday, the 22nd of April here, and the time is 8:46 a.m. So I trust this video finds you well and that things are in pretty good flow for you. If you're going through some pretty big challenges at the moment, then I trust that you find some support and perhaps a reminder of being gentle with yourself as you move through one day at a time if things are really quite difficult for you at this time. So if you are new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing is using my oracle cards here that I created. The Speed of Light Oracle here in the black have been combined with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with the Ladybug, and they've been combined to make a 110 card deck. So I'll be using this combined deck to find the best cards that the majority of us need for one card for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the best card for the theme for those 4 days. So I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust 100% that you've been led here for a reason. What that reason is up to you to determine and figure out. Could be to hear one thing. It could be to get you back on track, or whatever it might be that you need. So let's see what happens. So let's think of this as a guide only and see what comes up and what resonates and what fits easily into our life at this time. Really take note of the things that seem like I'm speaking directly to you, and let the other things go, and let's see what happens. So I'm looking for the best card now for Monday, the 22nd of April. If it's not quite Monday for you yet, I did do a video for the weekend, so you're very welcome to watch that if you missed it. But our attention now is turning to these next few days. So Monday, the 22nd of April, the best card for the majority of us is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle card. And we have Gaia, card 33 for day 22. And it says Spring, Nature, Listen, Message, and Life. This card is about life calling to us. It's about, really listening to the messages of life, it could hopefully be things like this video, but maybe like time that you spend with other people, time that you spend in nature, perhaps reading an inspiring book or watching an inspiring documentary or a motivational documentary, that kind of thing. Things like, and they're more external things. They're also internal, like intuitions that can also call to us and call a life out of us. So if you've been feeling flat and deflated and lifeless and purposeless and aimless, and you're wandering about not really knowing what to do next or where you're going, then Monday, and in fact the cards that come up too for the weekend, this is still sort of flowing through for Monday, are really inspiring us, or trying to inspire us to wake up to life and to find meaning and purpose in life itself, so that we have something to feel excited about when we wake up of a morning, and we have something to focus on, something to do, some goal. And a lot of us actually at the moment, and this has been coming up for the last few readings that I've done, are our longer term visions, our longer term goals for the next 6, 12 months or even longer. What are our visions or our goals? Or if we don't have any, what can we set ourselves so that we've got something to look forward to, something to focus on, something to work towards, something to move towards that helps give us a sense of purpose and meaning. So life calls us on Monday, and we've been encouraged to listen, to really listen to the messages of life. And like I said, they could come externally from videos like this, or things that you're doing, conversations that you overhear, books that you're reading, but it could also pop in through your intuition. So let's really pay attention and listen to life and what life is trying to inspire in us on Monday. Some of us may be drawn to nature, and there's a springtime element to this card too. So this springtime ushers in new beginnings. So there's a potential too for new beginnings to flow forward. And then, are we paying attention to those potential new beginnings? Are we listening to that call so that we can follow or figure out what we want to do with what we're hearing? Do we feel motivated to step up or step out? And how can we take that energy, take ourselves and our life to that next step or that next level? Good morning, Judy and Jacoba. Welcome everybody. I'm now looking for the best card for Tuesday, the 23rd of April. So the best card for Tuesday, the 23rd, for the majority of us is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And speaking of new direction, we have the Stag, card 49, and it literally says new direction. This card is specifically talking about our path. And there is lots about our path in the weekend's reading. This seems to be flowing on very well from the energy that's about over the weekend and even since the end of last week. This is especially about our path. Where are we going? This is about direction. It's about movement. So again, some of us may have that longer term vision, but for some of us, we may not be able to think that long term. So is there something more immediate or something more short term, a goal or something, a project or something that you can work on just to give you an incentive and motivation to get through these next days, these next weeks, especially if you've found it hard to get going or life has changed so much for you that you can't really think in the long term right now. Also with the Stag, we've been encouraged to trust our instincts and trust our intuition as we figure out and work out where the best course is, or what the best course is to take here. This card doesn't necessarily suggest that there are options or paths that we are considering. It sort of feels more like let's trust our intuition as we lean down this particular path or go down this particular direction, and to trust the new that's coming up, the new beginnings and the new pull that we have moving forward. And we might not know exactly what this pull is, but we perhaps feel a bit unsettled or a lot unsettled, and we might be feeling like we just want something to do next or something to create next, some project to focus on, or perhaps some of us with that long-term vision. So something new is enticing us out onto our path, out into the big wide world, out into a new territory, new landscape, into the unknown. So all these seem to be very similar. Let's see what we've got for Wednesday, the 24th of April. So the best card for Wednesday, the 24th of April, for the majority of us, is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle card, and it's Integration, card 19, and it says Settling, Grounding, Nature and Calm. So Wednesday seems like it could be a favourable day for us to find, we probably find that we're just feeling like we want to settle. There's been a lot of energy sort of trying to push us forward, push us into the future. There's been a lot of direction, carving out, moving forward, new pathways. There's a lot of this kind of new energy that's pulling us. And sometimes well, there's only so much of that we can sort of handle at once. If we're doing that 24/7 for months and months, we're going to probably eventually feel like we're out of balance or quite overwhelmed. Maybe we've taken on too much. So it sort of makes sense here in the middle of this period of time that I'm focusing on, is that Wednesday we have this integration energy, and this is time to sort of settle and digest and integrate. Now, it may be for the day, it may be around this day, it may be just for a short period throughout Wednesday, where we probably feel a bit slower moving. We might feel a bit withdrawn, and we might feel a bit like we're pulling into ourselves somehow, like we might be contemplating things. We might be just wanting to sit quietly and not really conversing or thinking too much about what's coming up. So we need these periods of time to sort of rest and settle, and also integrate and digest, you know, what's been happening, where, what's opening up, what's changed, what do we need to sort of realign into or recalibrate within ourselves. So we might find this around Wednesday, this sense of settling. Again, we may be called out to nature, but it might not be so much as to be inspired. We might be called into nature to kind of settle and breathe and just kind of ground ourselves and really settle into where we find ourselves at that particular time, what's been happening, what do we need to release, and what do we need to sort out perhaps within our own heart and our own mind. So calming down. There's a balance feeling too with this particular card. So things sort of balancing and then settling. So it doesn't mean that we're not proceeding with something. It's just that sometimes I especially find that sometimes we just need to settle and integrate and kind of withdraw and just digest what's been happening, and then we'll be ready for the next step. So that sounds like a welcomed break, let's say. Hi, Kels. Welcome. And Sam's here. Thank you for joining me today. I'm now looking for the best card for Thursday, the 25th of April. So the best card for Thursday, the 25th of April, for the majority of us is... It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. And we have the Black Panther, card 30. And it says to find acceptance. Find acceptance. Now, this is probably, it could be definitely relating to things that are happening on that day or around this time period. But there might be some things about ourselves, about our relationships or people that we're in a relationship with. And I'm not just talking about intimate. When I talk about relationships, I'm talking about relationships across the board, anyone we have a connection with. Or there might be parts of our life or parts of our past that we may be struggling to settle on or struggling to settle with perhaps the changes that have taken place. So I find one of the big keys to healing and to being able to move forward from things, from our past, things that have happened, things that have changed, is to find acceptance. And a real key for me, if I'm not letting myself heal from, say, grief or changes that have happened, is for me to ask myself, can I accept this situation or how this has turned out or whatever might be relevant for what's happened. And if I'm struggling if I feel really uncomfortable with that sense of acceptance, then I know I'm not feeling it yet. So then I need to go on a bit of a quest in some ways, or have an intention of how I can find acceptance of this situation. How can I accept that this person's not here anymore? How can I accept the changes that have happened, or where I find myself and I'm not really happy where I am, for example. So acceptance is a big one, and it can be a big hurdle, but it can also be a big key in helping us get over things that have happened, especially in our past, and finding a way to take the tension out of our life as well. I feel like if things aren't working, or for me, if things aren't working for me in my life, there are three options. One option is that I don't do anything about it and I just keep complaining about it, and then it just stays the same. Do I want to still be complaining like this in another year or another 10 years' time? So that's an option. I can just not do anything about it and just stay in the same rat race or the same conflict or whatever it might be. Number two, I can make some changes or make some improvements. I can close some doors. I can look at how can I change my approach and my attitude, my behaviour in this situation. Have I tried that for years and still nothing's happening, so it's time to close the door on this? So what changes do I need to make? It's an option for me. I can stay in the same place, do the same things, or I can make some changes. And I'll often, depending on the situation, I'll often look at how can I change or improve my attitude or my behaviour to this first before I'd more seriously close a door and say, right, this is over, what's next? And then the third thing, the third option for me is to find acceptance, to somehow accept this is the way it is, if this is the way it is, and can I find acceptance with that? If I can't, then I need to probably go back and look at how or what changes I need to make. So I find acceptance, although quite difficult, is really key in healing. It's really key in getting past issues, and it's really key in grief as well when we're at that point when we're ready to find acceptance with what's happened and the reality of things as they are now, which is basically that person's not with us anymore. Now, if it's a real fresh thing and very new, we might not be in a place where we're ready to accept yet, and that's okay. But if it's been some time and we're still feeling difficulty around this particular situation, and, you know, I think for me too, especially when this is around grief, you know, it's not accepting what's happened and accepting that person's not here anymore, in my mind, is not me forgetting about them. And I feel that this is really important to mention, because acceptance is not forgetting. So for me, when I think of acceptance around grief, I think that I still hold this special photo album in my heart from my time with this person and my memories with this person that is not here any longer. So I still hold the memories very sacred and personal in my heart. And I certainly don't, my aim in acceptance is not forgetting them. So I think this is really important, because I think one of the processes of grief is this fear that we're going to forget them. So acceptance for me is not forgetting. I'm not going to forget, but it's a way where I somehow give myself permission to get back into life again, and to and the way an attitude that I have that really helps me, especially in regards to grief, is imagining that I'm holding the baton or the torch of life that's been handed to me from that person that's not here anymore, and that actually it's very special and sacred and precious that we are all still here. And so I imagine that I'm carrying like this torch of life on behalf of my loved one who's not here anymore. And in fact, on behalf of all of my loved ones. And so with holding this torch, because my loved ones aren't here to live their life now, I feel an added sense of responsibility that I need to live my life on behalf of them. And so part of me moving forward and feeling that acceptance is to carry that baton now on their behalf. So I don't want to waste a moment in my life, because these people that I've loved, they're not here to live their life anymore. So I feel like it's a responsibility, but it's also an inspiration to me to be able to carry that and live my life as fully as I can. I mean, there's going to come a time when I'm not here, when you're not here, and hopefully we've left something behind, or something that's memorable for perhaps other people that we love or that have loved us or that love us, that they can carry on with their life as well. So it's a big topic, of course, but I feel like it's connected with acceptance. And this is around for Thursday. What do we need to find acceptance with? Or what may it help us to consider if we're still feeling tension and tight, and we're struggling to heal, where or how can we find acceptance about this and see what happens, see where that takes us. So, thank you. They're our cards for the next 4 days. I don't usually do 4 days at once, but I'm doing dawn service, and I thought, if I'm doing dawn service on Thursday with the band, then there's a high chance I'm not going to feel like doing a video. So I thought I'll just add Thursday in here. So thanks for joining me. I am going to pull a theme card in just a minute. Before I do, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you'd prefer to connect more privately, then please send us a message through our website. Send us an email. So last night I opened up, finally, it feels like it's been months, maybe it's been 6 months, but I've opened up some May video readings. There's only 3 left, so if you're interested, I'll be doing those before the end of April. So these are personal sort of guidance, a bit like what I've done with the cards here, but it's personal for you for May, for the month of May. So it'll probably help you get your bearings, see what's potentially coming up for you for May. So if it's your birthday month, like mine, or if you have some big stuff going on, you might consider booking one of those readings if you want to. You'll find them on my website, templeofbalance.com.au. Look up the store tab, and then I think it's under supportive services. So have a look at that if you're interested. They'll go pretty quickly, no doubt. So there's only a couple left. If you want to learn more about my cards, and if you want to start pulling cards and working with these yourself, which is something I highly recommend, then please have a look on my website for those. If you want to wear a porcelain necklace like this that I made, or earrings or anything, just have a look on my website. You'll find everything at templeofbalance.com.au. And you supporting or buying something through my website helps support my work. So please consider supporting it if you found this video and videos like it helpful. So let's now look for the theme card. So, okay, we have quite active energy for Monday, Tuesday, kind of forward pulling, new direction pulling. Wednesday's a bit more potentially settling. I think Thursday, the acceptance card with the Black Panther, that also feels a bit sort of settling as well, a bit sort of less kind of pulling forward like cards have been lately. So I'm interested to see the theme. The theme will help us see the bigger picture for these 4 days. So I'm looking for the best theme card for the majority of us for the 22nd, the 23rd, 24th, 25th of April 2024. And the best theme card is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle. Oh, we had this card for Friday, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it? Expanded Love, card 24. It says productivity, teamwork, and holding space. Now, this is interesting because, like I mentioned before, like Monday's, Tuesday's card feel to be kind of forward pulling. Wednesday's more settling, and Thursday's potentially a bit more settling too. I can feel both of these elements in this card. There's a productivity feeling as a theme for the next 4 days. So feeling productive, getting things done, tying up loose ends, 100% focus on the task that we're doing so we can get it done. So there's a great potential for productivity over these next few days. My guess is, based on the specific cards for the days, that we'll probably feel more productive, most likely Monday, Tuesday, and probably Thursday. Wednesday we might not feel as productive. We might feel a bit quieter on Wednesday, but let's see how we feel. There is also a sense with this card of working with other people. So we might find other people that we're teaming up with, or that we're doing tasks with others, or we're bringing other people into things that we're doing, and we're working together. So there is this sense of teamwork that's coming in, which is really nice. And the other energy, which is a little quieter with this card, is this feeling of holding space. Holding space. Now, holding space for ourselves, holding space for others, holding space for ourselves to heal, holding space for ourselves to find acceptance. Now, the acceptance thing too could also be talking about how we feel about ourselves. There has been quite a bit of self-doubt and smallness about who we are has been kind of popping up over the last week or so. So realizing that that's not who we are, and finding an acceptance about ourselves in regards to our capabilities and our abilities and who we know ourselves to be, which is usually quite the opposite of what we sometimes think we are if we're in that low space. If we're in that low space of self-doubt, lack of self-worth, lack of self-belief, feeling like we're not capable of doing this thing that we're moving towards, that kind of thing, that's not who we are. That's our wounded self trying to keep us small. So accepting who we are, but without tipping that towards ego or being selfish, may be on the cards or relevant for some of us as well. So holding space, this is holding space for ourselves, holding space for others. There is a supportive feeling to this sense of holding space. It isn't a sense actually of acceptance when we're holding space as well. So what does holding space mean? How might that look? I think for me, how that might look for me, it might be my attitude towards what I'm doing. Feeling enthusiastic and focused on the task that I'm doing or the project that I'm working on. Holding that space for myself to do that task or do that project is really important. If I'm already talking myself out of it, then I'm going to be dragging my feet, I'm going to be procrastinating, and I'm not really holding space for myself to do that particular task. So it all takes longer when that's happening. So it's valuable for me to hold space for myself. Now, a part of how I hold space for myself is I prepare my days in advance. And of course I flow with it. So if I'm not feeling, I will put things aside without hesitation. But I do like to, the night before my day, like last night before today, I had a little piece of paper like this, and I just look at my schedule for the day, and I just make some little notes for myself. So I do the video. I've got a lady coming to pick up some pottery pieces. I've got glazing to do. So the night before, I'm already getting into the frame of mind for my next day. But I work for myself, so that also helps me stay organised. Maybe you're going to work and it's pretty much mundane for you throughout the week, maybe. But I find that a really great way for me to get into the mindset the night before. So when I'm going to bed, I'm already got that at the back of my mind. When I wake up in the morning, it's at the forefront of my mind, and I can get up excited and enthusiastic about the first thing I'm going to do is do a video pretty much, or whatever it is that I'm doing. So, you know, I think part of that too is holding space for ourselves and understanding our lifestyle, our routine, how we like to be organised and how we like to focus on things. So let's create a nice positive ground mentally and physically for us to do what we need to do over these next few days. So expanded love, coming together. So when we hold that space, when we come together with a common vision or a common goal, when we're productive, then love expands out from us. So we're doing things in the flow and in that space of expansion. So that's our theme. Quite hot of a card lately. So thanks for joining me. Have a great few days, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon, later in the week. Let's see what happens. Enjoy, and sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Thank you.